Great animation starts with a good storyboard. The one thing you have to remember to make great storyboards is to draw from imagination. We do this for two reasons. One, the art of doodling, which is drawing from imagination, is faster. It allows us to create more panels in less amount of time because we're not slowed down by reference. Secondly, it's more original. We're funneling creativity straight from the brain into the paper without any interference from outside reference. But how do we turn these doodles into professional storyboards? My name is Sebastian. I'm an animator, illustrator, and content creator here on YouTube. Let's make some professional storyboards using some simple concepts. Be sure to leave me a like and let's get started. Revolutionize your setup with the E2L shaped standing desk from Flexispot. Here we have a spacious 71 by 63 inch electric height adjustable corner desk. Not exactly used as a corner, but as an executive desk in this case. Half of it for my music setup, the other half for a general catch-all laptop production table. The E2L is powered by a dual motor lift system for a quiet, stable transition, all under 50 decibels. Features a smart LED control panel with 4 memory presets for quick sit-stand switching and a simple and intuitive adjustment upwards and downwards. You can check out the E2L from Flexispot using the links in the description below. Any promotional codes and discounts will be down there as well. This desk is on the affordable budget side of standing desks, so you definitely want to check it out. Special thanks to Flexispot for sponsoring this video. Now let me walk myself back to the tutorial. Oh, do not forget to vote on my next video. Please take 2 seconds. It helps me out a lot. It's not illegal to draw the details first. In fact, when we're storyboarding, that's exactly what we want to do. Go straight for the main details. Try to close your eyes and think of the most important point of your picture, the thing that you can really clearly see inside of your mind, and start drawing that first. Following the art of doodling, scribble and draw until you get all those little relevant details in there, and then move on to the next most important thing. The key here is to start with no guidelines. Just go straight for those details, and I only stop when I've rendered out each and every point of interest inside the composition. So what is the point of interest? They're your focal points. For example, the animation I'm working on now, this character is running. So once I get all the details of the character down, I'm done. I can move on to the next frame. We have the perspective changing. So our character is now near the bottom. I finished drawing him, doodling in all the little details. This does not have to look perfect, but you do want to have every single relevant detail in here. It doesn't matter how skilled you are at drawing. Everything has to be in the composition and it has to be legible, meaning it has to be clear to see. So to the right, we have a biplane flying in the sky, and we also have this, is that a bear? Hanging from a parachute or an air balloon or something. We have the sun in the sky, the clouds. It doesn't have to be drawn perfectly, but it does have to be there. Draw these things like you're making your final drawings. You're just not using guidelines. So really work hard to make it look right, to make it look the way you see it inside of your head. Okay, so our storyboard is halfway complete. How do we take these doodles and turn them into professional storyboards? That, my friend, is the art of composition. Let's talk about 2 principles of composition that will level up your storyboards. The first one is balance. Balance is the even distribution of visual weight throughout a composition. When our composition is balanced, our brain finds that appealing, easy to understand. When a composition is imbalanced, it's shocking, unappealing. We can use balance and imbalance to communicate our message the way we want to. So let's take one of our storyboard panels and introduce visual balance. So I'm just going to zoom out here. This is why I like to use a vector program, because we're going to end up resizing some of these elements in our panel here. So we can get our fulcrum going at the bottom, which is just basically like a seesaw. It just helps you illustrate and visualize visual balance a little bit easier. So on the right side, I have this plane. I can represent that by just a square, maybe that size. I'm going to have to pull this fulcrum down because our object in the center is a lot bigger. Let's zoom out even more. Okay, and then, all right, then our character in the middle, he's going to be this large cube, something like this. And it's by comparison. It doesn't have to be actual size. Our bear with the balloon is kind of like a big, tall. I'm going to have to move this down even more. All right, so let's go down here and just check this out. Looking at it, it looks like we're looking at an imbalanced composition. Why? Because, well, in terms of size, our main character is the largest thing on the page, but this bear holding on to a parachute or an air balloon or something is tall. It's taking up a lot of vertical space. It has some mass, and it looks like our seesaw, our fulcrum, would end up on its side, favoring that bear like that. Okay, so it'll turn out like this. Now, to add some visual balance to it, let's just kind of even out the size of these elements. So let's see. It's either I could make the plane represented by this square bigger, or I can make the bear smaller. In this case, we could add a balance of both. You know, for some reason, I just want the plane to stay, I want it to be small because I want it to seem really high up in the sky. So I'm going to actually make it smaller. And maybe we can do the same for the bear. Make him smaller too, because I want them to seem very high up. Okay, that's an important thing to communicate in my composition right now, so that's okay to make that change. And I don't know, something's telling me to keep the bear that same size, but if we do keep them the same size, then how are we going to balance the composition? Well, there's something else we could do. I know we have another element we can use to add some visual balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take away the clouds from the bear's side, okay? So it'll just be him. And I'm going to add them to the plane side, okay? So that'll be more shapes on this side, giving this a little bit more visual weight and evening out the composition as a result. So now I'm going to add some more clouds, you know, so there'd be like a bunch of clouds over here, and then we got the streams going off into there. Because what you want to keep in mind is that visual balance also works on the other way too. If we were to flip the composition to be vertical, right? So we would have this on the bottom would be this large square. Okay, that's our character here. And kind of towards the middle, we got our bear with the balloon. And close to the top, we have, you know, our plane, and then the sun as well. So generally kind of balanced. The reason I do like the seesaw, but sometimes what's even better than illustrating visual balance as a, what's it called? A fulcrum is the two-dimensional level. Now this is called a spirit level. It uses alcohol and an oxygen bubble to tell you where something is balanced. So if we put weight on this side, okay, then the bubble will move over to here, okay, when the weight is down on that side. Does that make sense? So if you actually were to buy yourself a spirit level, get yourself a two-dimensional one, it does wonders to illustrate visual balance. And if you guys want to learn more about that, then go ahead, leave a comment and let me know. I would love to talk more about that illustration of visual balance. Okay, so we don't want to overdo it with the clouds. I think I may have gone a bit too big. But yeah, I just want to get that overlap for this cloud and then some streamy clouds as well. They don't have to look very good. I wanted to have this overall wrapping motion. So that kind of brings us to our next principle, which is movement. Movements connect the focal points of our compositions. Yeah, so I want everything to have that sweeping motion. Perhaps I have to rotate this plane. Maybe that was what, yeah, that would make the sweeping motion a little bit better. And then what's really going to carry that sweeping motion is the clouds. All right, so now we got the general movement of this scene. So now we're kind of looking at a much better composition, definitely very balanced. But that's pretty much it. I mean, we implemented balance and movement and I'm going to give you a bonus concept before you go, just really quickly. We're going to talk about optical flow. So the focal point right here, these are going to be your focal points. This is X1. Since it's the only prop appearing on screen, which is our character, he's going to be the focal point, right? So this is naturally an imbalanced composition. All the weight's going toward here, but that's okay because he's pretty much the only thing there. So he's the only thing drawing attention. You can basically put a tracker on this. This is where the eye is going to meet. here, and then it's going to be here, probably going to be gravitating toward their eyeball. Usually our eyes try to meet other eyes. We're social creatures, that's why we do that. We're made to look each other in the eye. So now the focal point's on the left, now it's to the right. What you can do to make your animation enjoyable to watch is keep your focal point trackable, okay? So this is moving from the left and to the right. Now it's to the center. So we got the swinging motion of the focal point, right? And then it's now it's from the center and it's going back to the left. So you do see that focal point's going here, then it's there, and now it's back here. Now where does it go next? Now it's going here, right? So I'm mindful of where the focal point is at all times because I'm trying to achieve a smooth optical flow. Now, a smooth optical flow is not always what you want, but in just this particular composition it is. Okay, now focal points staying on the eyes, usually going to be on the eyeballs. They're pretty much always going to be the focal point. Now spinning around, okay? Spinning around and then spinning around again, okay? So we're making the eyes go on a bit of a roller coaster. It's supposed to, it makes the composition more fun. So if you want to have a fun and high energy animation, take the eyes for a ride. Make your optical flow zigzag, loop-de-loop, and jump everywhere. Spin around a track like it's a marble. All right, so that's just a quick point you can implement. It really only applies to animatics and animation in general because you can't really. I hope you learned something about storyboards. These tips will level up your storyboards to a professional point. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. Do not forget to vote on my next video. What do you want to see on the Noble Frugal Studio channel? If you try the E to L from Flexispot, be sure to read those instructions. L-shaped desks can be tricky to build, but with preparation, anything is possible. Special thanks to Flexispot for sponsoring this video once again. You can check them out with the link in the description below. I mentioned that this desk is on the affordable side. You can pick up this exact configuration for under $400 to make any corner of your room into a full-fledged studio. Let me know if you want to see more about this desk in the comments below. That's all from me, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.